So first of all, Martin, thank you so much for taking this risk with me.
My pleasure. Thank you for
Who
asking
knows
me.
if this is, like, but I think this is the time that we have to try things like new things and have fun and just go with it.
Exactly.
And, and bring joy and light and laughter to the people.
Exactly. It's strange times. This is never, nothing like this has ever happened. And I'm old. And, and nothing like this has ever happened in living memory. So it's a strange one.
It's something. So I just want to give a shout out first to the team of Spritzer's YouTube channel, which unfortunately we tried so hard to put it on YouTube. It didn't work, but hopefully we'll be able to save this live because, or I'll have to interview you off live at some point and we'll put it on YouTube. We'll make it work. We'll make it work. And okay, so just so everybody knows, the show is going to go live. So Karen and Bruno Augusto first. Karen Sanovicz was there sending hearts, and Bruno, who is a darling as well. They've been so helpful, and I've been making them nuts the whole week. So yeah, we tried live television, So the show goes on every Sunday at 6 p.m. in Brazil, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I believe 9 p.m. in England.
That's right, 9 p.m. European time.
European time. So we're hoping to reach a global audience.
Exactly.
Now, okay, so if you guys have questions and comments for us that you want to ask, feel free to post it. We'll try to keep up with the comments. And, not only it helps the algorithm, but it also is more fun to us if you guys are interacting. So, yeah, interact away.
Yeah,
so
ask questions.
Yes. So I have to introduce you, but a lot of people here might not know you.
Well, that's true.
Which shocks me.
Well,
but anyway, for those who don't know this amazing, fabulous, fantastic guest that we have, Martin is a major West End, Broadway, and just like theater in general, he has done productions of Chess, which I love the musical, by the way.
Beautiful.
Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, Chicago, Fiddler on the Roof, The Sound of Music, Funny Girl, Guys and Dolls, Sweeney Todd, The Wizard of Oz, Peter Pan, Jesus Christ Superstar, Merrily We Roll Along, Stephen Ward, and most recently, Curtains.
Yeah.
So, and now he's one of the favorites for Portugal's Got Talent.
Oh, I don't know if I'm a favorite, but I got the golden button. But
you are our favorite.
Thank you. That's fine.
That's fine. That's good enough.
Lovely to say. Thank you.
No, you are. You did such an amazing job. People want, they're requesting songs. Look at that.
Oh yeah.
Wonderful. Keep requesting. This is a talk show, people. We're gonna sing. We're gonna dance. But it's different because our look. No, I can dance. Well, if you need time to I'll have to entertain them. This is kind of my show. I'm prepared. Whatever the audience wants, we're ready.
Fine.
This is what we do.
Fine by me.
It's what we do for a living. So here's the thing. So basically the rule of this show is we don't talk about disease. We don't talk about politics. We don't talk about economical crisis. We have to dress in pajamas. Because after all, this is a cultural quarantine. So we are dressed in pajamas. Here, Martin is showcasing his beautiful Mickey pajamas.
He's the boss.
Yeah, that's what it is. So you see what you started? Now people want me to dance.
So I didn't say anything.
Chaos. Okay, so let's first touch on this whole moment that we're living in. Have you gotten any new habit for this quarantine? Because I know you just ended your run in the West End. Yeah. So now that you have to stay put, do you have any new habits?
I mean, I've got a terrible habit. It's absolutely terrible, and I really shouldn't be doing it, but we keep watching this. It's actually a terrible program. It's trash, but it's one of those programs that's so trash you just have to keep watching.
I know.
So we are watching this program called Married at First Sight, Australia.
Oh. That's huge. A lot of people are telling me about that here.
It's trash, but it's fabulous trash.
Oh my gosh.
It's like a car crash. You go, oh no, but can't quite stop looking at it.
I have that with The Bachelor sometimes.
Oh yeah, I love things like that. I mean,
there is something amazing when people are really being really bad.
Yes, and these people, I think, go out of their way to be really bad. Yeah, they actually go on there purposefully to be bad.
It's true. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's got some cheating and things going on. It's like,
I have to say I bought a plant because I figure I needed something else to be alive inside of the apartment. So I'm hoping that this will survive. You know, like I killed a succulent like a few months ago that my friend Chucky, who is here watching, gave me, and he was very upset about that. So, you know, anyways. So, okay, let's go into the serious conversation here.
Okay.
Let's be serious. How did you get into musical theater?
I'll tell you exactly what it was. And I remember the day. I remember the actual day. I was already training as an actor, just an actor. Surprisingly, just as an actor, and I remember I remember going to see the big production, but in Manchester, of Evita, not the scaled down version that's been going around, but the original big screens and
Patti LuPone.
Exactly, big white dresses and standing on balconies and things like, you know, proper stuff. And I remember going to see it and just literally just going, and it was that, I think it was that plus I'd already seen March of the Falsettos earlier on in the week, and the two of them, I just thought, this is it. This is what I want to do. And the weirdest thing is, after watching Evita, I now am very, very good friends with the woman that was playing Ava at the time.
Oh,
and
who was
it
that?
was like Rhea Jones.
Oh,
Rhea Jones is a fantastic. She's at the moment. She's just been playing. Norma in Sunset Boulevard. She's also been in Gypsy at the Royal Exchange of Manchester. She's star over here. She's phenomenal. I've just got a hello from Will, who's, like I say, just sat over there.
Well, he can interact, like keep liking and sending, because it's good for the algorithm. We need that. Yeah. Relevance is always good on social media.
Exactly.
So what, like, you've been in the industry for so long, and you've worked in so many different styles of shows and, you know, screening of shows and whatnot. So how do you see the evolution of musical theater in the last, I mean, this is people are going to find out that I'm a geek. So if they haven't already known that, like, this is the moment where they're like, you know, really important. So how do you see the evolution in the last 30 years that you've been in the market? Basically, we saw so much change from the 80s to now.
Well, I mean, it's interesting, actually, because if you look at the first musical that I did, which was Chess, you know, it's a pop opera, it's a pop rock musical. And we are really seeing the evolution from all of those now to where we are now with things like Dear Evan Hansen.
Just to point out that in case people don't know Chess, because I think that's a very specific show, it's written by the composers from ABBA. So it's a beautiful musical. You would never think that they were like pop songwriters. And it's like, it was a very 80s show, same with Cats and, like, you know, so many other shows that marked that time of theater.
Oh, I mean, it has some of the most stunning music. The storyline itself, it's interesting.
Ish.
But, you know, it's kind of like, oh, okay, that's nice, but let's have another song. Let's have another song.
Yeah.
Apparently there's another version, Chess Spa Svenska. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I know I've pronounced the Svenska part right, but it's a wholly different version with a whole different storyline. It is in Swedish. It's their mother tongue, so obviously
for those who understand, we highly recommend
it. But there is a version you can download. I think it was on YouTube, but there is somewhere else you can get it now. And it's a brilliant storyline. It's fantastic. It ties up all the things where you think, oh, okay, fair enough. Oh, I understand that now. Because before it was just like, hello, we're in a competition, and now I'm leaving Russia. Bye. And it's kind of, oh, okay. But the one thing that is beautiful about Chess is the music. Stunning. So yeah, I mean, it's very interesting because if I'm honest, I was quite reticent about the evolution of musical theatre. I kind of was a bit like, no, I don't.
It's not going great. Yeah.
Pasek and Paul, and then I sort of heard for Forever.
Yes.
And that was
from
it.
Dear Evan Hansen, which is
Dear
a
Evan Hansen.
very popular musical for, like, I think it opened a couple of years ago. And
yeah, I think it was 2000 and...
So it was Hamilton, and then it was Dear Evan Hansen, and then
Yes.
it hit sound. So yeah, so it was 2 years ago, and it's a beautiful show. It's like, for me, I think that the big mark was when Next to Normal came for this like moment in theater.
Yeah, I mean, Next to Normal is it's interesting because if you look at Next to Normal and then you see Dear Evan Hansen, it's almost like a companion piece.
Yeah,
they're very similar in style, But I much prefer Dear Evan Hansen. It's just I see people already going Dear Evan Hansen, heart. I could completely understand.
We love it.
Oh, amazing!
It's beautiful. And now, one thing that, like, you work in this very well known shows like Jesus Christ Superstar and Merrily We Roll Along. Like, when you have these shows like Jesus Christ Superstar, it was a major hit in Brazil before, like, the album was a major hit, before it even opened on the theater. Same with Evita. Like, a lot of the shows were launched elsewhere before they went on stage. How do you see, like, when you go to whatever country and people recognize the songs, like, everybody knows this type of music?
But it's wonderful. It's wonderful because it's a common language. You can start singing Jesus Christ Superstar, and people go anywhere. In whatever language, it's common ground that everybody has, because obviously, having lived in Brazil for, how long were we there? 3 years. I know that there are cultural differences, but it's a beautiful country. But when you have little things like that, everything becomes closer, and you just have common interests, and it's just wonderful.
Now, I mentioned the musicals, and when we talk about these musicals, there are obviously these amazing composers behind it.
Oh, yes.
And you have been fortunate enough to work with so many of them. So I wanted to know which show or which composer was the most surprising to work with.
I think Andrew is the most surprising to work with. I mean, having said that, the thing is...
who here loves Andrew Lloyd Webber besides me? Like, everybody must love Andrew Lloyd Webber. Look at how many hearts are coming up. Andrew Lloyd Webber is the guy who wrote The Phantom of the Opera, Evita, Jesus Christ Superstar, Joseph, and the Amazing Technicolor Code. What else have you written? So many things. Cats.
He also wrote Cats.
Sunset Boulevard, which is, for me, the best score he ever wrote.
Yeah.
Well, one of them. Love Never Dies.
Scholargy
Hockey, most recently as well.
Yeah.
Well, Pablo, one of my dear friends, my next guest who is watching, he already puts Andrew hearts, because that's Andrew is a recurrent person. So people want to know, what is your favorite musical and why?
One that I've been in or one that I've seen?
Whatever you want to respond, or both.
Oh, okay. I think the favorite musical that I've been in, it's a toss-up between Joseph, Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, and Chicago.
Oh, I love Chicago.
Yeah.
Love Chicago. You can't go wrong, right?
No. Well, you can, because if you have to play Amos, everybody else is wearing lace and a bit of, something small, and I'm in a cardigan, boiling hot in the midst of summer. But
can I say something about Chicago? That scene, Mr. Cellophane, is one of the most iconic Bob Fosse scenes.
Yeah, I loved it. I have to say, I don't think I could do it anymore because my ankles. I actually went to the doctors because I was having problems with my ankles, and I went to the doctors.
We'll get to it.
About 2 years after I'd finished Chicago, and they said, "So, you broke both ankles?" I went, "No, I've never broken my ankles." And they went, "No, you did about 2 years ago." And I was like, "Oh." So I'd obviously done it on Chicago and not even realized. So all that overextension going from side to side. Yeah, I broke both my ankles. Hooray. I live for my art. I bleed for my art.
For people who haven't seen Chicago and all this and are very interested in this, there is the movie version that probably is in one of the streaming services. I will look that up and send you guys the information. It's not with Martin, unfortunately, but there is a version so you can understand that we're talking about a choreography that goes like this with the hands. So people still want to know, and personally, I do too. What are your thoughts on Andrew Lloyd Webber? Why was he the most surprising to work with?
Oh, yes. Sorry, of course. So he was the most surprising to work because he was the most down to earth. He's Lord Lloyd Webber.
Yeah.
And then you start talking to him, and he's like, "So, can you do this? Can you, is all right if you? Is it okay if you do this?" Yes, Andrew, it's absolutely fine if I do this. That's what you're paying me for. Yeah. Oh, good. So, he's an absolute gentleman, and like.
Oh my God! Did you freeze again? Okay.
Am I back?
Yes, you're back. I'm back. Yes.
I think I know the reason why. I think it's because, oh gosh, hang on one second. I think it's because it's decided that I'm on low battery.
Oh. 1 second. So my friend Pablo, who is he's a composer as well. He's a big theater performer. He's saying that I didn't think it was possible to love Andrew Lloyd Webber more than I did. I have to say that his words are mine. Andrew Lloyd Webber is just, I always thought that he was going to be a little odd.
And don't get me wrong, there are times when he can be. My favorite time that he ever I will. My favorite time that he ever kind of not dissed me, but it was kind of a diss, was we were just in our final week of Wizard of Oz, and I'm just taking the lion head off, and I'm sweating, and the hair's plastered down like this, looking really quite gorgeous. And he's basically coming to say thank you all so much for everything you've done. And he's in the wings as we all come up. He's going, darlings, darlings, and he goes, and he flings his arms open and goes, dear boy, to me. And I go, oh, Andrew, and I go in for a hug, and he goes, he literally just goes and backs away from me. I was like, okay.
Yeah. Not getting a hug, but that's okay.
But that was fine. That's the only time.
Can I say something? You got Dear Boy from Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Exactly.
If you look at me, and I've been to like many of his talks and whatever, I haven't had the opportunity to interview him yet. And I've interviewed a lot of major people on Broadway. He's like the top of the list.
Yeah, he's wonderful. He's wonderful, and he's a nice man.
That's amazing. That's like all of us nerds from musical theater. We all appreciate that.
Exactly.
That answer. Now I have to tell you though, before we even met, and because Martin and I only known each other by distance, and we've only known each other for a couple, like 5 years or so. Yeah. But a few years before we met, or around, a little before we met, I saw you on stage.
Where?
Wizard of Oz.
Ah, you would have seen the whole.
Yes, I saw the whole thing. Yes, it was.
Was that with Graham?
Was that? No, it was even before I met him. Yeah. Oh, so Graham, I don't know if you're watching, but he's the dear friend who introduced us, and so thank you for setting this up and making, in a way, quarantine talks possible. Yes.
Exactly.
Who knew? Now, okay, so let's talk a little bit about Portugal's Got Talent, because I think that's something very unusual, and I think this is much more mainstream. It's the same show as Britain's Got Talent, America's Got Talent. It's a major thing, and you got the golden buzzer. So how was that?
The botão dourado. It was shocking as hell. And if you happen to see the video, you'll see my face going.
I saw it.
It's a picture. It's. I really would like to just pause it and frame that photo. Oh, it's. I was shocked as hell. I mean, I'd had 1 hour's sleep that day. Mm-hmm. Literally 1 hour's sleep, because I had just finished curtains in Stoke in England. I'd driven back to London. Then I'd had an hour's sleep, gone to Heathrow, flew over, went there, and literally when you get there, they don't allow you to kind of like sit and think about things and get into performance.
It's a line of
You know?
production. No.
Oh, it's just like, come here, do this, put that on, here's makeup, do this, say this, come over here. Now you need to stand in front of this microphone, do this. So by the time I actually got on, I was like, I think I'd had a slice of pizza. So I'd had an hour's sleep, a slice of pizza.
My gosh.
You know, and so I was up there thinking, okay, just do the performance, do everything you possibly can, make it sound, at least make it sound good. Don't care what your face is doing, just do it. And then at the end of it, you know, I mean, I was so nervous that any Portuguese that I knew just literally went out of my head. When they asked me, where are you from? I just went, I'm from, I was like, podes falar inglês, por favor. And so they just spoke English from then on. But I just couldn't believe it. I thought, I didn't know what was going to happen. I thought either they'll go, oh, we like your voice, but, you know, your musical theatre, you know, like what happens in some of them, you know, or you know, God forbid. But I honestly thought they may have said, oh, we like your voice, but...
Yes, thank you. We'll call you.
You're 52. Yeah. You know, I mean, you know, I'm 52. I know I don't look it. But you know, I did honestly think maybe they would go, not really the age group we're looking for. So I was fully expecting those, or I thought maybe I might get like a yes or two, you know, and that would be nice. But no, I didn't expect it.
It's quite amazing. Like, I hope you guys, the show will come back after this whole pandemic crisis.
Oh, yeah.
And I hope you guys are watching this, will watch it, because his performance is just, it's on YouTube. It's on his channel on YouTube. So you should like access it and see it. His performance is really outstanding.
Oh,
and you know, you were talking about the casting of musical theater, and we have so many amazing stories of this experience.
Yeah.
As you were saying that, I was remembering I've auditioned in Brazil for so many shows, and at the time the market was very small, so it was like one big show a year. So it was like, you know, the first one was Phantom, so okay, I can go for Phantom. The second one, like, I don't remember, but at some point Miss Saigon came up, and I auditioned for it. And of course, Miss Saigon, the most of the cast is supposed to be from Vietnam.
Yeah.
Clearly, you know, I'm not from Vietnam, so I did get a, you know, you're great. Unfortunately, you're not Asian. So that was the common feedback. Spring Awakening, Pablo was there auditioning as well, and we got like, oh, you guys are great. Too bad you're not actually teenagers. You know, I was lying. I was still 19, you know, because I stopped counting after that. So I still have no idea how old I am. But yeah. So I wanted to know a little bit of your audition experience. What has been like the most like crazy experience that you got in the audition process?
When you say crazy audition process, or do you mean worst audition process?
Not the ones that were bad, but the ones that are like, you know, like, why not?
I mean, the worst. I have to tell you my worst one, because I don't mind telling it, because it was fun.
It's, you know what? It's a lesson for the youth in theater.
Yeah, exactly. Now, most actors, I think, in England, and I actually think I'm possibly one of 12 that has never done Les Mis or Phantom.
That's right. You haven't done that.
No.
I know that, and those shows have been on forever. Like
exactly. So in a way, I'm kind of, it's a badge of honor. But in another way, it's like, what is wrong with me? However, what I can tell you is that I think I probably know why I've never been in Les Mis, is because when I did audition for it, they gave me, I had to sing the, you know, take an eye for a night, turn your heart into stone, this is all I have lived for. So I sang that first.
Oh.
And just screeched it, just really went, huge. And then they all went, that was lovely, thank you. Thank you very much. And they said, right, now can you sing the prayer? I went,
oh. Now you wanted me to go there?
Now you want me to float that?
So the prayer, for those who don't know, in Les Mis, Valjean is a very complicated character, and it's very high for the male voice. So it's like, and Les Mis is one of the most challenging pieces to sing, because you go from most songs you go from very low to very high. So you have to have a very strong belt and a very strong high. You know, I'm going very technical. Sorry, I get lost on this. So the prayer is very like
it's floaty, it's very soft,
it's very floaty, and
you know,
very
you have
high,
to,
very
oh,
high.
very high. God on high, you know, and you know, you have to be really ready for it. You have to be absolutely know exactly where you're placing it. And I just screeched
People want us to do confrontation, but we wanted to do a duet, but the problem is because there is a delay.
Yeah.
We might not be on the same time, so he's gonna start Valjean at last. We've seen each other, like, and it's not gonna happen. So hopefully one day we're gonna do this in person, and then we can do all the duets you guys want.
Exactly.
And then we want.
Yeah. Hell yeah. So I was in this audition, and they said, okay, now can you sing Bring Him Home? And I went, okay.
No.
And they started the plinky plonky do 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 do, and I'm stood there thinking, please sing this right, please sing this right. And I literally went, God on high. I said, oh, can I start again, please? I went, yeah. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
I'll call you. Yeah.
And they did it again. They went do 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 do, and I went, God on high. I said, oh, I'm so sorry. Can I just one more try? And I just had to belt the whole thing. So I think it was literally the only time they've ever heard Bring Him Home belted. Like Idina Menzel was doing it for them.
It's a style.
Yeah. It's the wrong style.
Maybe nowadays it's not. I think everyone is belting everything, There's no singing soothing anymore.
Exactly. And funny enough, I didn't get the job. I don't know why.
Surprise. Now, okay, so I have a little job. Like I have two things that I have one thing that I have to ask is, as this is part of the cultural quarantine movement, what do you recommend for people? And we have given them a lot of recommendations, but I think one has to be from you, where it's like, what do you recommend that they do during their cultural quarantine? Like, what would you suggest that they watch, that they listen, whatever?
I tell you what, I honestly would watch. Because I'll tell you why. Because yes, it can be quite rude, and yes, it can be quite bitchy, but it is the most fun you can have while watching TV. RuPaul's Drag Race. Just watch it. You'll never be upset. It's just phenomenal fun. It is going to take your mind off. Sorry, what?
Anything.
We'll keep saying I want to be a drag queen. Believe me, I don't. But whatever. But it's just you can have fun watching it. So I would say if you're going to watch television, RuPaul's Drag Race, because it's just fun. Fun, light. Yeah, exactly. But I would start reading. In fact, that's what I've done. In fact, I would read the Dear Evan Hansen novel. That's what I would read.
Yes.
It's fabulous because it actually gives you more information than the stage show.
That is true. And I think the stage show, there is a few lacks of the storyline. So there's a few information that you need to fill in the blanks.
Exactly.
Now, I don't know if you're familiar with, my friend loves the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. It's also a good, yeah, he's obsessed. So I do have to say, so, I don't know if you're familiar with, but I've worked with different fashion magazines, and Vogue has like a quick game of like question and answer that they do on their videos with their interviewers. So I decided to do like the Vogue game, which I shouldn't because I work for Harper's Bazaar. So yeah, just, Harper's people don't pay attention. So I'm doing the Vogue game, but like the musical theater version. So I'll say something, and you have to say the first thing that comes into your mind when I say it. So we're going to start with the divas, okay?
Okay.
And I chose some of them. I couldn't choose all of them. Like, even though I have this, but it's kind of like a book on A's for Audra. We go for all the letters. Every letter has more than one diva. So let's just focus here. So we're going to start, since you're British.
Okay.
We're going to start with Julie Andrews.
Mother.
Barbra Streisand.
Goddess.
Bette Midler.
The best. The divine.
Patti LuPone.
Not a vowel sound in her head.
Liza Minnelli.
Cray.
Okay, so that was the diva challenge. Did I forget any divas that you guys are missing out on the Broadway?
Cher.
Sorry,
well,
it's not
she's
Broadway,
not really a
but
Broadway diva. No, she has her own Broadway show. What she did.
Yes, yeah.
That was sad. What's
She
going
wasn't
on?
okay. In her defense, she wasn't happy about it.
Well, Really? Why?
Yeah, no, she wasn't happy, and I agree. I think her story could have been told better.
Oh,
We could do a whole other. Oh, Bernadette Peters.
Sorry, Bernadette Peters, also mother. Also mother.
Okay,
She's phenomenal.
I will allow the repetition of the
Thank
words.
Thank you.
Oh, Angela Lansbury.
Oh, grandmother. I mean, she's phenomenal. She's just, oh. I mean, you've seen that when she's singing with the Mormon Tabernacle Choir, and she's doing Beauty and the Beast. Oh.
I saw her doing Beauty and the Beast live on Carnegie Hall.
Oh.
It was just last year, and it was a hug. It was the definition of a musical theater hug.
Yeah.
Like,
that's
it was
kind of,
yeah.
It's something to aspire to, isn't it? You know, just to be that warm that the whole audience just goes.
Angela Lansbury was the voice of Mrs. Potts, just in the most popular role in Beauty and the Beast, the movie, the film, the animation, and she's just amazing.
Phenomenal.
So now, if this was difficult, I'm gonna go on a whole other level here. Favorite composers. So sorry, no, not favorite composers. So I want the favorite song from each of these composers. Oh, Barbara Cook.
Okay.
The first
oh,
Barbara
look,
Cook.
The balcony shook. Someone call Barbara Cook. Okay.
So, okay. First and foremost, Sir Andrew Lloyd Webber. Lord Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Memory.
Do you have a best performance of the song?
Elaine.
Oh, yeah.
Elaine. The original, the best, you know.
Yeah. Stephen Sondheim.
Oh, everything. It's terrible. Actually, no.
I know.
Losing My Mind.
Love it. Who's Losing My Mind?
Everybody Will Hate Me. Julie Mackenzie.
Can I say Michael Ball for me? Have you seen him on Hey, Mr. Producer?
We'll talk. No, there's just this moment. I'll tell you a story about that, which was quite unfortunate because I know Michael and he's very lovely, really lovely and incredibly supportive and such a beautiful human being. But when he did the not going left, not going right, he actually went not going left, not going right, and I howled.
I've noticed that.
And it was unfortunate in the screening of the show before it went out on DVD, and the whole cast was there, and I just happened to be sat behind him. Oops. So that went well. But he's phenomenal. Don't get me wrong. He's phenomenal. He is phenomenal.
I also love his, I only want to say, when we're talking about different styles, he's the only one that doesn't go on the heavy metal, high notes.
Yeah.
And it's so touching. It's such a performance.
Yeah. Well, funnily enough, I saw him in Chess, which is basically the part that I believe he was born to play. He was born to play Anatoly, and he was phenomenal.
Someone said you're adorable when you speak Portuguese.
Oh, obrigado.
Now, let's continue on our composers list, because this is going to be good, because I think you have a story for each. Stephen Schwartz.
Defying Gravity. No, Forgiveness is Embrace.
We got magic to do.
Oh, yeah. Such a beautiful musical, Pippin.
Yeah.
Really special.
Corners of the Sky as well.
Oh, yeah. The first time I ever heard that was, but a woman sang it, and that was the first time I heard it. A woman called Rebecca Storm, and she was phenomenal. But I mean, it's such a pretty little musical. It's so clever. Yeah,
it's adorable. It's fun. It's cute. This is difficult, so you have a few seconds to think, because I would need more time to think. Candor and Ebb.
Oh God. Actually, I do have a favorite. I Miss the Music from Curtains.
Oh, that's
true.
Because
it's about it was actually written by Fred. Let me get this right around. Written by John Kander when Fred Ebb died. Yeah. And it was about how he missed the music, how he missed working with his partner. I just thought, it gets you. It got me every night actually when we were doing it in.
There are some songs that are like that, right? That just stop the show and you're like, wow, this is.
I mean, that was the thing. I mean, the audience probably wouldn't have got any of it. You know, they wouldn't have got the significance, but we did because we knew. So
I actually met Kender, and he's just an amazing person. Okay, this is also not easy because I think he's one of our favorites.
Okay.
Alan Menken.
Oh.
It's difficult.
No, actually, no. I don't know. It's really stupid. It's really stupid. And everybody go, what? But it's from Gallivant.
I love Gallivant. Gallivant was a show that went on TV for like half a season, or not even, like, it was one season. I don't think hardly anyone saw, but the music was fantastic. And the cast too.
And it's Kylie sang it, Kylie Minogue, and it's called Off With His Shirt. And it's hilarious because it's just unashamedly gay. Yeah. It's brilliantly fun. It's just brilliantly fun. And it's unashamedly camp. And yeah, I just love it. And it's like you just think, how did he write this? It's so disco. It's great.
I love, for me, it always is, and it always will be Belle, the opening number for Beauty and the Beast. I just love the fact, let's just stop to appreciate that they did a opening for an animation film that lasts for about 6 minutes.
Yes. And makes you weep every single time.
Amazing. It's just like, you know, bonjour, bonjour. Yeah. Okay, this is even more difficult. I think I'm putting like, it gets worse every name. So,
okay.
Rogers and Hammerstein.
Well, again, oh God, now you're really pushing it.
I know.
Have a
I'm sorry, it's my job. I have to ask difficult questions.
I have two favorites. One, which might be letting you hear a little bit later, but I really, really, really love This Nearly Was Mine.
It's gorgeous.
From Sanovicz. It's such a song of loss. It's beautiful. It's really beautiful.
It's a good choice.
I think that's my favorite. I know it should be something from Sound of Music, but no, I was in it for too long.
You know,
2.5 years.
Yeah. I think that sometimes you lose that kind of like passion, because here's the thing, guys. One thing that most of you are not aware, when we talk about Broadway West End, it's 8 shows a week. So there are 2 days you do a matinee and a night show, but it's a lot. You're doing the same show over and over and over 8 times a week, and you're also rehearsing before then. And before, you probably listen to that a lot as, you know, as a fan. So do you ever lose that kind of like the magic towards a song that you write with, that you work with? Not right?
You can, I mean, the thing is, I mean, you can get a little bit like to the point of boredom, but something will always happen. Something will always happen that makes you go, oh, I'm enjoying it again now. You know, I mean, just a different way of working it, just a different way of thinking, or something will happen and you just like, you know, I remember once, I hope it's okay if I do this, but I remember once Gretel went,
this is a safe environment.
Oh, good. Well, this is a bit rude. But Gretel, she went, oh, I've hurt my finger. That's what she's supposed to do.
Uh-huh.
And on this night, she went, I've hurt my finger. And just went, So,
yeah.
So that was, so that, you know, so
it kind of
just
kills
things
the
like
magic,
that will help. Yeah, exactly. But it was fun.
But I will say this about the film, The Sound of Music. I've probably seen it 100 million times. He will sing. Don't worry. Well, we have to finish the interview and then he will sing. About this, it's The Sound of Music. There is one scene that always gets me, and it's always like, this is why this musical was so successful. And I think it's when Captain Votrap goes into the room and the kids are singing the first time for them, and it's like, that's just a scene that you might be sick about the film, but once you see that, it's like, okay, I get this. This is why this is a hit.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's beautiful. The whole thing is beautiful, and this will probably bring me lots of enemies rather than fans. But I actually do think the film is a tiny bit better than the musical. Tiny bit, but it is.
Yeah, like the film for me, I've seen the production on live on stage many times, and the live TV thing. It's not the same. There is something about Julie Andrews and those kids and Christopher Plummer
Yeah,
that you know. Same with Mary Poppins. Every time they try to redo it, even though it's beautiful, the staging is amazing. You can't substitute Julie Andrews. People just accept that.
yeah, yeah. Plus also, I mean, the only thing I don't like about the movie is what they do to the Baroness, because
Yeah,
in reality, the Baroness is just, you know, she's just unfortunate. You know, she just realizes, how the hell
yeah.
can I compete? How can I compete? Whereas in
Someone
the film,
comment
they make
here.
it to be, how
They
can love
said it lacks
survive?
how can love survive. Yes.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
didn't. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think it could be better, but I think you know, you have to limit. That's the other thing. It's that no one has the patience for long shows and long films anymore.
Yeah,
So I'm a firm believer that Les Mis was written to be 5 hours. It should be 5 hours. You
yeah,
know, and The Sound of Music, kind of a similar situation. It should be
yeah,
4 hours and not the three that they made.
yeah. But
Now,
it's
okay.
beautiful. Oh, go on.
So next composer.
Okay.
This is a tough one, but I think it's a very important one for us to have this time because I think his music is very lively. Jerry Herman.
Oh, bless his cotton socks. Time heals everything. In fact, to be brutally honest, anything from Mac and Mabel. I think it's musically, it's I think one of his best. I think the storyline itself, again, is one of those ones where it got lost, but
Yeah,
musically, it's stunning. I love Mac and Mabel, and Time Heals Everything is possibly the best song
yeah.
ever. And Bernadette Peters singing Time Heals Everything is the best ever.
Hence the diva title.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Now, okay, so this is also a quick one, but we can develop as the conversation is interesting. A show that changed your life, whether it was something that you watched, whether it was something you worked on.
Chess, because it sort of took me from doing the things sort of singing in my bedroom and wanting to be a singer on stage to being a singer on stage. So yeah,
Hmm.
chess, it absolutely changed my life. Yeah.
A song that changed your life?
I think losing my mind.
Ah, yeah.
I think losing my mind because it was the first time I heard a song that I just thought, oh my God, this is somebody who knows how I feel sometimes. And you
Yeah.
know, it was like the whole idea of that you can love somebody to distraction to the point of madness and yet still be sane and still have to go about your daily life. Yeah. I was like, oh yeah,
Sondheim has this sensibility that I think few lyricists have. He's
yeah,
very down to earth. He's very realistic. It's, you know, the songs are very relatable. The lyrics are very strong. It's amazing.
absolutely.
Um, okay, so this is a question I asked. You know, I've done a lot of interviews with different musical theater actors, composers, you know, everyone. And when I used to do for Funny Girl, there was a question that I loved asking that was, what is your musical theater guilty pleasure? Like that show that you're not supposed to like, but you kind of liked.
Okay.
I have a long list. I have a terrible taste in musicals.
Okay.
So,
Well, I mean, actually, I don't think it's a particularly terrible musical. It's just, I suppose it's because it's quite juvenile, but I
mhm.
love it. Annie, any
It's cute.
version,
I like, yeah.
any version, even the
You
modern
got a lot of
version.
hearts from the Annie. You got all of a sudden like it
Yeah,
popped up. Yeah.
Annie. You know, I've seen the original film. I've seen the new version. I love the Disney version because it's, you know, it's just, oh, it's phenomenal. You know, it's just happy. I prefer, and I like the stage play because it's actually set at Christmas, which
Yeah.
is absolutely my favorite time of year.
And you know, the song is so appropriate for this moment tomorrow.
Oh, absolutely. The
It's
sun will come out
yeah.
tomorrow.
Okay, and now we're living a moment where this question I had to adapt because after all, this is the quarantine talks, and I used to ask what was the performer's favorite like shower or karaoke song.
Okay.
So now we adapt, because as you know, there is a movement of people singing out to the windows, you know, so people can join in and sing, or they can, or you can at least lift the spirit. So what would be your window or balcony song to, you know?
Well, I was
make it
actually,
happen?
if you let me, I will actually sing it for you. But I
Please, by
have
all
to,
means.
but I just have to preface this by saying I won't do it with the door open, because unfortunately this is England. And if you
Yeah.
were to literally open the door and start singing in the street, they'd just tell you to shut the F up.
Yeah,
So,
I'm hoping we'll get to the point, same in New York, and I've tried a couple of times, where, you know, I'm singing loud enough that they can listen if they want to join. But yeah, I usually get like, stop. Uh,
yeah, yeah. So
so
it's like,
I
so
hope that we
now I
get to
just
the
think,
point where we can do this.
yeah. So it would actually be, You'll Never Walk Alone.
Okay, then, by all means,
Shall I forget? Oh, just one
do
second.
it.
Oh,
Should
we're happening.
should we?
Just let me-
We
Yeah,
have
yeah,
we
I'm
have a
just,
pajama concert now.
ooh, okay. I'm just going to take one of these out so I can hear it properly.
Okay,
Okay. Oh, this is scary. I'm sat down as well, so hopefully you can still hear me.
we can hear you. Can you guys hear?
Okay.
Okay, are you here?
Yeah, I'm just,
I'm gonna take a sip of water while you prepare.
just one second. Hang on one second. Just one second. You take it back. It's not up far enough. You need to turn your volume up. Ooh. Can you take it back then, please, Marge? Can you hear it, by the way?
Can you guys hear okay?
When
Yeah.
you walk through a storm, hold your head up high, and don't be afraid of the dark. At the end of the storm, there's a golden sky and the sweet silver song of the lark. Walk on through the heat. No, that's wrong. Walk on through the haze, though your dreams be tossed and blown. Walk on with hope in your heart, and you'll never walk alone. You'll never walk alone. At the end of the storm, there's a golden sky and the sweet silver song of the lark. Walk on through the wind, walk on through the rain, though your dreams be tossed and blown. Walk on with hope in your heart, and you'll never walk alone. You'll never walk alone.
It's too bad that this Instagram live we don't have the mixer, because it would be perfect to edit so people could have the full effect of what it's like live. How many of you have never heard that song before? Because this is kind of a privilege. Can you imagine that a lot of people here are not into musical theater, and like the first time you hear that song, it's something so beautiful. It's outstanding. It's a song that it's one of those theater icons.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird. Over here, it's actually a football song as well.
Really?
Yeah, Liverpool have it as their football song. I don't know why. Oh, hello. What's going on there? Go back over there.
No, I've learned from the many DVDs that are out there with, you know, those gatherings of different musical theater, but it was something like, yeah, my friend just said it was the first time she was listening to this. So it's a beautiful song. Can you tell them about the song?
It's from Carousel, which will actually be over here soon. They'll be doing it at the open air theatre in Regent's Park. So it's beautiful, and it's sung by. It's an absolute classic. It's a song of comfort. It's a song of comfort when things go wrong.
Someone saying here, my friend was saying, well, this is the first time I had Martin Callaghan singing it to me.
You're more than welcome.
I think, yes, it was the first time that I had Martin singing it to me as well. And again, I cannot thank you enough for taking the time to do this. I just want to ask you guys, do you have any more questions for Martin? Because I think we're going a little bit over time, but I want to give this opportunity to your fans in Brazil and all over the world, your global world, to ask you questions. And let's see. Do you want to say something that I haven't asked?
No,
vote for him on like, can
if you're in Portugal, vote for me. Absolutely. Well, if you're in Portugal. If you're in Portugal, absolutely, please.
Well, we know people in Portugal that they can vote for you on our behalf. Yeah.
Strong arm them, and say vote for Martin. If you don't vote for me, then vote
Broadway
for
or West End. Both Broadway and West End.
Both. Yeah.
Whoever hires.
West End, sense of fun in the West End, sense of priority on Broadway.
Yeah. Interesting. I was going to ask you, what is the big difference between one type of like Broadway and West End? What is the difference of the market since you work on both?
That's what I think. I think it's that in the West End, we do our work, but we also have a sense of fun. Whereas on Broadway, it's like professionalism. Do your job. That's it. That's what you're there for. That's what
even their auditions.
Do the job. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
As someone who went to business school, I was shocked when I saw the audition process here. I was like, wow, this is a line of work. This is how you get things done.
Yeah.
You know, good for you, Broadway. You know, you're getting greetings from Belgium as well.
I know.
Dream role.
My dream role is, and I don't think I'll ever get to play it because I'm not tall enough, is Edna in Hairspray.
Yeah, you know, my dream role was like I would still love to do it. I would love to do Tracy.
Oh, no, you'd have to be padded a lot.
I don't mind. I think Good Morning Baltimore is one of the best songs ever written.
Yeah, it's a fabulous musical.
It's a happy, wonderful musical. I love it. I love it. Yeah. Any more questions, people?
Get some platforms, Martin. to be taller. Well,
you can wear high heels. I mean, look, if John Travolta could do it, and he's not very tall.
He's taller than me, but then it gets the film.
I don't think so.
This is the stage version. I understand where they were coming from, but you know.
But if we're doing it together, I'm very short, so it's okay.
Oh, then we're fine.
We're fine. And I'm not a teenager anymore, so it's super fine.
Ainda em choque. Por quê?
Ainda choque. She's so touched by the song.
Oh,
very kind of you. Yeah. She is, that's Tati. She has been, she's a dear friend since we were children. So, and she said she didn't know musical theater, but now this is a good opportunity to start learning more about theater, and we'll be trying to bring that content here. We have to go. Thank you so much.
Fabulous.
Thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you for asking.
Thank you all for staying. Thank you. And you can go. I'm just gonna wrap up here. And just thank you so much, Martin.
Pleasure. Beijo.
And
ciao.
In the meantime, I just want to tell everyone that the next guest is here watching, and the next guest is Pablo Paleólogo, who is also one of my dearest friends, a super talented composer. He's a super talented performer as well. You're going to get a lot of music, song and dance, and a lot of laughter because we have so many funny stories, especially audition stories together. And I'll stay tuned and I'll see you guys next week on the Quarantine Talks. Thank you so much for joining.